writing because I refused to take the paperwork for him. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that just didn't sit right with me. And I'm reaching out to y'all to see how y'all think about this. This land's been in my family for a long time. Long time. So, and then he basically grown man up there acting away and just not being who he should be in that way. Now, I get his point, but also it's one of those things that it could have been handled a lot better. So what he did was backhandedly give me some paperwork, which is under the wrong name, by the way. So I don't even know what to do with this because it's just and the problem is he wants to buy my land, and so far my family has refused to sell it to him. Now, he did offer to buy the land, of course he did, so that I wouldn't have to worry about it. And he told me that he is not going to make it easy for me to have that land. Now, his words. So I'm reaching out to you guys to see what and if there's anything that y'all know about this or what's going on with it, because he is a lawyer. So he basically said he's going to give me a hard time about it, and he's going to do whatever he can in his power to make sure that I don't do nothing with that land, because he wants it, and he's going to do what he can to make sure that I have a hard time of doing anything with it. And I could not believe that. I'm from Georgia. So, I've had this land in my name since 2007. I got permits for it, everything else, and so on and so forth. And he has given me the runaround. Like, you would not believe. Now, I tried to be nice, because I'm not the kind of person. I'm not the type of person to act a type of way. I'm not the type of person to try to do whatever. I'm a neighborly person. And it just did not sit right with me, because he was up there for an initiative. And if he hadn't been like, well, I'll buy the land from you and this, that, and the other, because he showed his hand, he showed his cards with that one. So basically what he was saying is he's trying to force me to do it another way and make sure that he's going to do whatever he can do to make it difficult for me to build on my land. Now, this is my land. He's like, well, it wasn't a big deal because it was your property and this, that, and the other, you know, when you were coming up here like once a year or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So now that I'm coming up here trying to make something of it, you want to, you know, put your foot in it because you don't like that because you want it. I don't know. It's just, it's disappointing to me as far as, you know, how people are acting and how he chose to do it, because like, making sure I was okay, which I appreciated, which is very southern, very appreciated, very neighborly. You know, I told her like a few things, you know, because his son is living in the property that's right next to it, which, cool. His son has special needs. Alright, well, I've been in healthcare for like 23 years. If he needs anything, I'm there. And then he was just walking around basically trying to be away. And then as soon as I was like, I don't want to do that, you know, as far as like, you know, I told him I was going to consider some options, you know, see what I had going on. And he was just like, well, I'm going to give you this paperwork. And I was like, I don't want to take that paperwork because I don't know what's in it. And hey guys. Yeah. So it was pretty disheartening. But I'm going to do what I can to see what I can do. And, you know, he was like, well, you need to do this by the, you know, by the easement or whatever, which I respect that. But at the same time, that's been the easement. I mean, it's always been the road. And for some reason, it's now a problem. So, I mean, he embellished and stuff, but, you know, the fact that when I refused to take paperwork, he says, now we're fighting. You know, now this is going to be this, and I'm going to call the cops, and you got 5 minutes to get off your property. And I was just like, so you're putting me under duress, which is legalese for basically threatening me if I don't do what you want, then, you know, this is what's going to happen. So, I've got that documented, at least. You know, that's crazy. So, if anybody knows anything about this, just, you know, pass it around that somebody's trying to bully a girl, a female, a woman, about her property, and because he wants the property. And he's bought everything around it, but he doesn't have my property. And he told me that he's going to make it not easy for me to do anything with that property. So, his words is this because, you know, he wants me to. He wants it. He's, don't make sense for you to have it. But, you know, basically an island, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, but it's my property. So, he's basically just trying to bully and do this kind of stuff. But I'm going to talk to some people, see what I can figure out, and go from there. And then he was just like, well, I'll give you a couple days, you know, to figure out what you're going to do. And I was like, okay. So, if anybody knows anything, or pass the word around, just let people know that, you know, there's, especially my homesteading buddies, people that are, you know, out there that are trying to live their own life and, you know, basically be off grid. Y'all know who this is. And I'm just, it saddens me to have to deal with this. But, you know, we'll figure it out, because that's what we do.